Y'all, we got the true story of Jeepers and Meth and Creepers. It's not funny, it's just like, so I randomly came across this video on my channel about the true story of Jeepers Creepers, y'all. And I was just like, okay, yeah, we gonna watch this together. I did not know that Jeepers Creepers was like based off of a real story, a real person. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Oh yeah, but don't forget, I post Monday through Friday, and for specific uploads, check the in the description below. And y'all, what time is it? Hold on, it's 11:47. So technically, y'all, it is still Thursday for us over here. This is technically early for me, y'all already know. Let's go ahead and get into the video though.
It was a relaxing Easter Sunday afternoon as Ray and Marie Thornton were driving in Coldwater, Michigan. The brother and sister were enjoying the peaceful ride and had been playing a game of making up words and phrases from the license plates of cars passing by. As Ray turned onto Snow Perry Road, a loud rumbling sound became louder by the second, and suddenly an older model green van sped past them. Figuring that it was simply someone in a rush, the brother and sister paid it little mind. That was until they passed an old schoolhouse a couple miles up the road, and Marie witnessed something that shocked her to her core. Marie witnessed a man that was walking towards the schoolhouse carrying what looked like a white sheet covered in blood. Ray continued on driving, and as they passed the schoolhouse, they both saw the exact same van that had sped past them minutes earlier. Ray and Marie began debating on what they needed to do. Should they call the police? Should they turn back around? Or should they stay out of it and not end up like victims in a horror movie? Before they could figure out what to do, the same van that was—
That's scary, y'all. What would you do? I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, like, yeah, call the police. Call the police, but I wouldn't be calling, obviously, like, right there at the scene of the crime. But, like, yeah, that's crazy. That's scary.
seen at the schoolhouse was now closely approaching their rearview mirror. The van began—
And honestly, too, I think I would be traumatized behind some stuff like that. Like, because it's like you witnessing, like, you didn't witness the actual crime happen, but like you're a witness to, like, I don't know, like the scene of, not the scene of the crime, because that's not where the crime happened at. So what would you call that? Like, you're a witness to the disposal of the body. Like, I don't know, them trying to get rid of evidence. I don't know, whatever you call it, but it's still like, to me, that's still like kind of traumatizing. Like, I just witnessed somebody try and get rid of evidence for a crime that they just committed. And it's not like no little regular crime. Like, they said a sheet covered in body, so they somebody, you know?
gaining speed, and before they knew it, it was right behind them, keeping speed and being mere inches from their bumper. For over 2 miles, the van stayed like this, almost as if the driver was going to follow them wherever they went. Marie was trying to remember the license plate from the
Go right to the police station. Do not go home.
van when it originally passed them. All she could remember was that it started with the letters G and Z. Then suddenly, the van took a sharp turn down a side road. Ray and Marie knew that something was very wrong here, and decided that they needed to find out the van's plate and report it to the police. They decided to turn around and see if they could locate the van and get the information from a distance. Shortly after making their way back the way they came, they soon spotted the van, with both doors open and a man kneeling behind it. To their shock, they saw what appeared to be a man taking off the license plate. But the even scarier thing that Ray and Marie both noticed was that the inside of the passenger door was covered in blood. Not wanting to stick around any longer and being unable to get the plate information, Ray and Marie figured the next best thing to do would be to go back to the schoolhouse and see if they could find the sheet, or potentially—
What? Did he just say that they didn't want to stick around to try and get the license plate number, but you gonna go back to the scene? Like, you gonna go back and try and find the sheet? Yeah, there's some out of a movie. Ain't no way y'all really out here that doing this for real. There's no way it's really people out here doing stuff like that for real. Like, that man could have came back. This how people become victims.
Actually, what was responsible for the bloodstains on it. They made it back to the schoolhouse and began to quickly search the area. Within a few minutes, Marie found, stuffed inside a small animal hole, the bloody sheet. Marie and Ray ran back to their car and quickly left to go alert police of what they found. For what was supposed to be a peaceful and relaxing Sunday for
That's not smart. That's not smart. Like, they already seen what they thought that they saw, whatever. Like, they should have just called the police, told the police while they're on the road, back to wherever they came from. Don't stay around the area either. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about yourself. You got to protect yourself too. I get it. Like, trying to be a good Samaritan and all of that, but at the cost of your own life. Because clearly y'all dealing with a psycho. Like, all they had to do was call the police on the way back to wherever they was coming from. And you know, boom, 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 let them know where the location was at, where they saw this man, you know, potentially dumping the body. Who told y'all to go play Mr. Officer and go back to the crime, the scene of the crime? We're going to call it the scene of the crime, okay? And go investigate yourself. Like, man.
Ray and Marie Thornton
I'm
quickly
stressed.
turned into a nightmare scenario that had found them fearful of hearing the familiar rumblings of a speeding van. Unknown to them at the time, but the Thorntons had just encountered Dennis Depue and had witnessed the lengths that he had gone to keep control over his family. As Ray and Mary were speeding to alert the police of their discovery, at the same time a phone call was being made to the same police department from the frantic daughter of Dennis. Jennifer Depue was calling to report that her father had assaulted her mother, Marilyn, whom had recently divorced Dennis, and he was seen carrying her to his van. He then sped off and claimed that he was taking her to the hospital. Knowing that her father was violent and was still very angry when he left, she feared he had no plans of taking her to get proper medical treatment, but instead he wanted her alone so that he could unleash his full rage. Going back to Mary and Ray, when they arrived at the police station and reported on what they saw, authorities quickly departed for the schoolhouse, while others were simultaneously searching for Dennis and Marilyn. When police arrived at the schoolhouse, they found the sheet still stuffed inside of the animal hole, and from there, a large section of the area was sealed off. From the initial investigation, police were able to locate tire tracks that would later be identified as belonging to Dennis's van, and the blood samples that they acquired were no doubt from Marilyn, but they needed to be properly tested before issuing a definitive answer. Dennis at this time was still nowhere to be found, but many who knew him were aware that he was a very controlling person and that he didn't want the divorce, but many thought that he would never be capable of doing an act as evil as this. Throughout the prior year, Dennis and his then wife—
That's why I say you never put nothing past nobody. I'm a firm believer in that. You never know what people are capable of. Like, the signs be there, but sometimes there's also situations where there's no signs at all. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be the quietest people. Clearly, you know, he had signs that the people say he was known to be violent. But yeah, it's crazy.
Marilyn had been together for just over 18 years and had, from what many thought, to have a loving marriage and happy family. However, as it
again, looking from the outside in, you never know. I mean, ain't nobody stuff perfect, but like, it ain't supposed to be like, obviously like this, you know, toxic and crazy. That's unfortunate. But yeah, in 18 years, that's a long time. That's a long time.
is often the case with
A lot of people be thinking that because people been together or been married for a long, long time, like it's just all happy and love, and it's up. You never know what's going on in people's situations. So don't never envy somebody else's situation, or like I said, be thinking that it's always cookies and rainbows and cream and all of that. People be thinking that, oh, like that's so lovely when they hear that you've been together with somebody for a long time. I'm not saying that that can never be the case, but I'm just saying that certain people take that as I don't know. I see a lot of people take that as like they automatically think like it must be a really good marriage. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes people just stay together just to stay together. They don't even like each other anymore. They just, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, refuse to like separate it, you know. Yeah.
Instances of crimes like this, what is shown on the outside is a far cry from how things actually are behind closed doors. Marilyn had been telling her close friends that she was unhappy in the marriage, and while Dennis was not physically violent, at least he hadn't been at that time, he was very much a controlling person who essentially had the final say on any major or minor decision. Surprisingly, given what happened at the start of this video, Dennis was not very combative about the divorce. It was very apparent that he didn't want it to happen, but he never fought Marilyn on it. Dennis was reported to have tried to save the marriage, but by then Marilyn was long since past the point of wanting to fix it. Dennis agreed to give her primary custody of the kids and even gave her most of the property. Many who have read this case, though, think that this could have just been a last-ditch effort at trying to save his marriage. After the divorce was finalized, Dennis did stay in frequent contact with his family and was often seen at the home, albeit from the garage that he used as an office. Even then, though, his controlling demeanor was still very much intact, and he was still attempting to have a say in Marilyn's life. Shortly before the event that took place on Easter Sunday, there was an instance where Marilyn arrived home to find Dennis sitting in the living room. Frightened by this, she demanded that he leave.
See, there you go. Look, that the crazy signs. He already showing the crazy signs. Why are you in this lady house, sitting in the living room chilling? Like y'all done with, y'all over. Like now you overstepping. You invading her personal space. It's giving creepy. It's giving that you can't move on, and we need you to move on. Yeah.
After he left, Marilyn reportedly checked all of the locks in the house and the windows.
Yeah.
The reason it scared her so much was that she had since changed the locks on the house, and Dennis didn't have a key. While there was never a concrete answer given to this, as Dennis never told her how he got inside of the house, it made the already tense relationship between the former couple that much worse. A few days before Easter Sunday, a coworker of Dennis later told police that he had mentioned to her that he was incredibly depressed and was considering killing Marilyn and then taking his own life. This obviously was a serious concern, but no report was made about it prior to the assault that took.
Oh my God. Oh, y'all finna make me mad. Why wouldn't you say nothing? And then this involves somebody else's life. Somebody come and tell you that they thinking about killing their ex-wife and they say, you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing. See, when people be needing folks to be nosy, they don't want to be nosy. That's the problem.
Took place a few days later, which leads us to the events of Easter Sunday. On that afternoon, shortly before Ray and Marie encountered Dennis at the schoolhouse, Dennis was arriving at the house Marilyn and the kids stayed at. While there, one of the kids told Dennis that he didn't want to leave with him. This led to the others all telling him that they didn't want to spend time with him today. It was at this moment that Dennis snapped. He began screaming at the kids, and then Marilyn.
And I want to get y'all opinion on this. If you have, so I'm one of the people like, yeah, if you and your spouse are no longer together, unless the spouse poses like a risk to the children, then yeah, they should still be able to see their kids, right? But I am also one of those people that believe like just because you're not entitled to see your kids, like if you are violent, even if you were just violent to, you know what I'm saying, the wife, your wife, right? Because usually you capable of being violent to the kids too, or anybody, right? You're just a violent person. I'm one of those people like if you are a violent person, I don't think you should be able to see your kids. At least like you need to be supervised when you see them, like because you clearly have a temple, like I'm temple. My bad, y'all. It's late. You clearly have a temper. So yeah, I'm one of those people like, cause you know, the kids come first. Mama bear, like my kids' safety come first. I don't care about none of that. If you violent, like no, I don't know about you coming to see the kids. They need to be like supervised visitations. And some people will take that and try to say, oh, that mean that you bitter, or that mean, no, it don't. Everybody don't want their ex-husband, or like, especially if you the one who left them. It's not always about that. Sometimes people really are putting, you know what I'm saying, the safety of their well-being and their children first. Like, so yeah, that's crazy. I don't think he should have even been able to see him, to be honest. Like, clearly.
got in the middle of it and was telling Dennis to not speak to them like that. Dennis accused Marilyn of turning the kids against him, and after more yelling, Dennis pushed Marilyn down the stairs and began attacking her. The kids watched on in horror before Jennifer ran out of the house and to the neighbors for help. During this—
How old was the kids? Because he would have got jumped. He would have got jumped. I don't care nothing about you being dead. He would have got jumped. Yeah.
time, Dennis took the now barely conscious and bloody Marilyn to his van. He told Jennifer that he was taking her to the emergency room, and the rest all circles back around to the start of this story. However, when Ray and Marie had their encounter with Dennis, he was alone, and there was no sign of Marilyn. Could Dennis have truly taken her to the hospital and then fled, trying to hide the fact that he hurt his ex-wife? Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as the following day, as police continued their search of the area around the schoolhouse, they found the body of Marilyn, and she was found with a gunshot wound to the back of her head. A manhunt was increased for finding Dennis Depue, but nothing could be found of him. There had been a few reports.
So he's saying that he already beat her up in the house and then turned around and shot her in the back of her head.
Of his van being spotted speeding down various roads, and for a short time there actually was somewhat of an urban or local legend surrounding him, taking on an almost boogeyman type of tale. Stories that at night people would hear a rumbling van speeding in the distant night. What added to this story was that in the days following the crime, Dennis was corresponding to both his friends and his family. He had written nearly 20 letters in total, all postmarked from the eastern United States. They consisted of words from a bitter and selfish man, where he blamed Marilyn for what happened and that she had ruined his life. One of those letters went as follows: Marilyn had many opportunities to treat me fairly during the divorce, and she chose to string it out, trick me, lie to me, and when you lose your wife, children, and home, there's not much left. I was too old to start over.
This literally goes beyond not taking no accountability. And what they be calling it, a narcissist? Is that what they be calling people like this? He done killed his ex-wife and he wrote a letter like that.
Over the course of the next 3 months, more letters would arrive at the doorsteps and mailboxes of family members of Dennis, mostly having the same tune that he was not to blame, and if anyone was put in his situation, then they would have done the exact same.
No, they wouldn't. You're crazy. No. He finna make me pull this bonnet off. Because it's really people walking around here like him. Like, are you okay? I would be trying to figure out how the hell did I even raise a child like this? Like, what is wrong with you? How? Y'all know what's crazy too? Y'all know how y'all see them TikToks of like them wives or single women just talking about how scary men are? This ain't no man hate video or nothing like that, but them ups can be scary. Cause you hearing stuff like this, you like, yeah, Cause I don't know, man. Cause it's like I said, be situations where the signs be there. And then it's even scarier when you gotta think about it's also been a lot of situations too where the signs were literally not there and they just snap. Like, why you just can't, so you tell somebody that you done with them, you don't want to be with them no more, and then they just result to killing you. That's insane. That's insane. And then and that's why you will hear a lot of women too. I've heard a lot of women actually say like, if you're gonna divorce your spouse or break up with them or something, don't tell them in person. Like, do it. I don't know. I guess over text or call them, but tell them like when you done already packed up the house and everything, and you gone. And some people or a lot of people think that that's actually like cruel. Like, how could you do that to them? But see, we did stuff like this, and then he done went through the divorce and everything, and he done went and went crazy on the Easter Sunday because his kids didn't want to go with him. Talking about she turned the kids against him. I don't think people realize too. A lot of people don't realize that your kids are watching you. What do you? She don't have to turn the kids against you. Like if they watching you beat up on their mama or be violent to their mom, like they don't. She doesn't have to turn the kids against you. Like they're seeing what you do. They can see that you're a horrible person. Of course they're going to hate you. Of course they're not going to like you. I wouldn't want to go with you either. Like come on, that's crazy, man. People be real life crazy out here.
He also, for added measure, included Bible verses, perhaps to make himself look more.
Oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. They love trying to pull out that God card, that Jesus card. They love trying to pull out that religion card to make them look better. Here we go. Here we go with the games. Here we go with the games.
Likable and friendly. In March of 1991, barely any progress had been made on the case. Dennis had virtually disappeared, and the one-year anniversary of the crime that took place on Easter Sunday in Michigan was approaching. Around this time, the television show Unsolved Mysteries had aired a new episode that included what happened to Marilyn in hopes of getting more attention on the case. The nationwide show reached the screens of homes all over the country, and one of those TV screens was over 1,000 miles away in Dallas, Texas, where a man by the name of Hank saw the episode. As it was airing, Hank's girlfriend Mary arrived home. She noticed that her boyfriend appeared nervous and somewhat frantic. He told her that his mother was sick and that he needed to go see her. He distracted her so that she wouldn't sit in the living room and see what was playing on the screen. Hank then quickly packed a bag and left, getting into his green 1984 van and speeding off. Hank, otherwise known as Dennis Depue, just realized that he needed to get out of the area and fast, as he knew someone would have recognized him. And he was exactly right, as one of Mary's friends was also watching the episode and immediately called the police to report on what she knew. Before Mary knew it, Hank was gone, and he had left in such a hurry that she didn't know what to make of anything. When she offered to go with him to visit his mother, he was dismissive and made it seem like it wasn't as urgent as it was. Yet when she questioned why he needed to leave that late at night, he changed the subject. Before she knew it, Hank, or Dennis, was gone. And before she could fully process what was happening, the police were knocking on her door. She was informed from detectives that her boyfriend was actually a wanted murderer and had killed his wife the previous year.
Oh my God.
There is little doubt that Mary felt both confused and sick. It's something that we all hear about in movies and crime novels, after all, that someone we know has a completely different identity. Yet when Mary was faced with this, she didn't know what to believe. Everything culminated to police showing her a picture of Dennis, and to her shock, she was able to confirm that it was him. Within a matter of hours, Dennis was located, and a high-speed chase began. For more than 30 minutes, Dennis attempted fleeing from the police and took several back roads that led to major highways. It was even reported that he attempted running cars off of the road in an attempt to create some distance from the police behind him. Realizing this was not going to end smoothly, police gave him some distance and started firing at his back wheels. Dennis attempted to swerve to evade this, but it was in vain, as suddenly one of the tires on the van exploded. Then, seconds later, another tire was shot out. The police had shot out the rear tires of the van, and shortly after the van came to a stop, and realizing that it was all over, Instead of surrendering and facing life in jail,
Uh-oh.
instead of having to look into the eyes of his
Here we
children
go.
and admit that he took their mother away from them, instead of having to deal with all of the judgment that he absolutely deserved, instead of doing any of that, Dennis decided to have a shootout with the police.
Oh my God.
As officers surrounded his car, shots began to erupt from the windshield of Dennis's car. Officers returned fire, and as quickly as it started, it was over, with Dennis ultimately turning the gun on himself. The story of Dennis Depue ended there, and many have noted that he went out how he wanted, which is morbidly mirroring to how he was in life, and how he wanted so badly to control his family and everyone around him, and in the end, he decided how it was all going to end. If the start of this story sounds familiar to you, when Ray and Marie had Dennis quickly speed past them, or when they saw him carrying a bloody sheet at the schoolhouse, or when they were being followed by him for a few miles, or even when they went back to the schoolhouse and found what they feared they had seen all along, if that all sounds familiar to you, it was because this crime actually inspired the 2001 film Jeepers Creepers. At the start of the film, if you have seen it, shows a brother and sister being tailed by a stranger in a van, when suddenly the van speeds past them. Later, they pass an opening where they see the same van and a man outside of it carrying a body in a bloody sheet before dumping it into a hole in the ground. While it's true that the entire film was not solely based around the story of Dennis Depue, it is.
Right, I was just about to say, one thing Hollywood gonna do is they gonna put 20s on 10s. Like, how we get from this story, Jeepers Creepers is inspired by Dennis Depue, right? But if you watch Jeepers Creepers, this man looked like a dang human slash bat slash, I don't know, whatever creature. He be flying, he dancing on the hood and stuff. He doing all type of stuff. He skinning people's faces, trying to put them on his face. So wasn't he eating a tongue or something? I don't know. But like Hollywood one thing Hollywood gonna do, they gonna over exaggerate. Cause I'm like, how we get all of this? Like now he's some type of dang bat person creature thing from the depths of hell or something. Like, come on now.
In my opinion at least, spooky that it inspired the opening to that movie. I can't really imagine being in that situation of driving around and seeing a man carrying a bloody sheet to only then be tailed by him for several miles. It's the kind of stuff that we feel only happens in horror movies, such as Jeepers Creepers. While Dennis Depue may not have been the creeper the movie fully depicted, he was no less a monster that was simply hiding in plain sight.
Dang, that's sad, man. That's crazy. Like, that man really sat up there and killed his wife because he can't take that he got divorced. And I'm just thinking, as far as like the kids, how do you not live with a lot of hatred in your heart for who is it? His coworker or whatever. I can't remember exactly who, but y'all heard it. Sure, y'all know who I'm talking about. The person that he told that he wanted to kill his wife and kill himself, and then you don't say anything, and he goes on to do this exact thing. You get what I'm saying? It's like I wouldn't, man. Look, they be saying forgiveness is for you and not them. But just to know, like, all you had to do is open up your mouth, and then, you know what I'm saying, they mama could have still been here. Yeah, you have to do some deep soul searching on that to forgive something like that, because that's just crazy. Because like I said, a lot of people be out here nosy as hell. We just got done watching a dang compilation of Karens being in people's business, and it seemed like when people need people to be out here being nosy and reporting and saying stuff, they don't say nothing. And you know what I don't like too? It's a lot of people out here that, because this is like your friend or your family member or whatever, they will cover. And I get it. You know what? Nobody's perfect. I ain't gonna get up here and act like I'm perfect, right? I get it. This is a loved one, so maybe you like, nah, they don't mean that for real, right? So you do want to protect those that you love. Like, shoot, to be honest, even if that's at the detriment of somebody else. But I don't know, man, because like you say something like that to me, I'm not gonna be thinking like, oh no, they don't mean it. I get it. You don't want to lock up your own loved one or a friend, a close friend or whatever. But look, man, nah, man, I don't know. I don't know. You need it's something going on up here because if you do it to them, they could do it to you too. It's something loose up here. Something loose up here. You can't just sit up and tell me like, oh, I want to do something. No, you need. Yeah, we need to go ahead and call and get you some help. It's okay. I'm just yeah. While you talking to me, you telling me yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, everything gonna be okay. Everything gonna be yeah. Yeah, I need you to. He right here. Yeah. Yeah. Like for real. I'm not joking. For real. But that's unfortunate, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. Again, when you hear stories like this, I can't say I disagree with the women that say if you are ever going to leave your spouse, and especially it be the older women that'll tell you this too. If you ever gonna leave your spouse, this is like specifically for women. If you ever gonna leave your spouse or just even your significant other, it is best to just pack up, already have your stuff out of there, and then you know what I'm saying. Let them know what it is. I don't want to be with you no more. Obviously, like I said though, but with this situation, um, it's different because he gave her the divorce. They said it seemed like he, you know what I'm saying, it seemed like they settled it amicably because like he gave her like, you know what I'm saying, some of the property, or most of the property or whatever, sole custody of the kids, and then just for him to turn around and do this. Oh yeah, and it is apparently, let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick just to make sure I ain't on here just telling y'all anything. Cause you be hearing stuff or people say stuff on the internet and you gotta go fact check it though, cause sometimes folks be out here we be out here just saying any damn thing. But apparently, y'all, it's supposed to be a statistic showing that men like okay, how they like to spin it like, oh, women are the ones that's lonely after a divorce. They say it's actually men who are like more likely to become depressed and stuff like that, like after a divorce. And I believe it. I wouldn't be surprised, just to be honest. Just even when you looking at typically how the average marriage operates, the man's role and the woman's role in the marriage. Let me see. What am I gonna type up to see? Statistics. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna type this. I'm gonna see. Google gonna figure it out. This is on. Who is more likely to become depressed after a divorce? The man or woman? Okay, so here we go, y'all. Let's see. Let's go to. I'm trying to find somebody reputable. And they got the quick like little AI answer or whatever. But yeah, right here, National Library of Medicine. Let me pull it up for y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to put it on the what you call it for y'all. Doo doo. Oh. Mm. Doo doo. Oh. Mm. Where's that? How to do this? Y'all know I be struggle streaming now. Be nice. Struggle stream. Where's that? Where is it? Oh my god, I don't know what I be doing. Window capture. Okay. Why me bringing it up? Okay, here we go. So full. Okay. Okay, here we go right here. Look, y'all can see it. It's on. It's basically covering up the whole screen, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't need to. Let me see. Hold on. Mm, yeah, y'all can see right here. Okay. Let me go back to it. Okay, look. It says differences in the effects of divorce on major depression in men and women. Okay. Hold on though, but this is supposed to be for marriage. Hold on, let me go. The authors examine the relationship between marital disruption and major depressive episodes. Method. The analysis were based on longitudinal, let me see, community-based data from the New Haven. Okay, epidemic. 18 to 60 years old. I'm trying to get to the point. Okay, my bad. Okay, results. Okay, marital disruption was associated with higher prevalence rates of major depression in both men and women, but only men had a greater risk of a first onset major depression. Differences between men and women in rates of major depression were observed only among married subjects. Okay. Conclusions. These findings suggest that the relationship between marital disruption and major depressive episodes differs for men and women. They also provide further evidence that differences between men and women in rates of depression vary by marital status. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. Hold on. Let me go back real quick. Now this is. Let's do the quick little what you call it right here, y'all. Research suggests that men are approximately. Because I feel like that basically said that, but I feel like too, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just need to go in and just straight up say it, spit it out. Research suggests that men are approximately twice as likely to experience post divorce depression compared to women. However, the experience of depression varies drastically by gender, due to socialization, support systems, and coping mechanisms. Almost coping mechanisms. I almost said coping mechanisms. Okay. Post divorce depression by the numbers. Men, studies indicate that divorced men are up to 2 times more likely to have a depressive episode than divorced women. Women tend to report greater initial emotional distress and a higher rate of diagnosed clinical depression immediately following a split, though they often recover faster. How gender differences shape the experience. Men's experience. Isolation. Men often, because now I'm invested. I'm just going to keep reading, okay? Isolation. Men often rely heavily on their spouses as their primary source of emotional connection. I'm going to give y'all my little, you know what I'm saying, after this. The loss of this partnership can leave men socially isolated. Coping mechanisms. Rather than reaching out to friends, men are socialized to internalize emotions and are 50%, that's true, less likely to seek professional therapy. Instead, they are more likely to turn to substance abuse or immerse themselves in work. Custody stress. Fathers navigating stressful child custody battles are at a significantly high risk for mental health struggles and y'all see that word right there. I don't know if I can say this on here. Okay, women's experience. Support systems. Women generally maintain broader emotional networks, friends, family, counseling, which act as protective factors against prolonged isolation. The double burden. Women face a disproportionate amount of financial hardships post divorce, averaging a 27% decline in standard of living, which coupled with single parenting responsibilities can trigger later life depression and anxiety. Yeah. So y'all basically get the point, right? Let me pull my thing back up. Okay. So yeah, y'all basically get the point. Now, I'm just trying, you know what I'm saying? I can see that as a married person myself. I can see that. Now, the only thing is, the part about, women losing what 20, where is it at? Where is it at? What did it say? 27% decline. And like, 27% decline standard of living. Yeah, because a lot of women, right? Especially if you have kids, put your careers to the side for the sake of, you know what I'm saying, staying home, taking care of the household and the kids and stuff, right? Which is basically what I did, to be honest. I'm a stay-at-home mom now, and I homeschool my kids. Shoot, I want to be able to raise my kids. But I am also a firm believer in having your own money. That's how I was raised. I don't think it is nothing wrong with that. A lot of people will say, oh, that means you got one foot in the marriage and one foot out. No, it is not. No, it is not. We gotta stop normalizing being illogical. Like, yeah, I could say all day, like, oh, I don't think that my spouse will do this. Oh, I don't think my spouse will do that. But at the end of the day, you not that person. I'm not you. I don't know. People can wake up literally the next day and just look at you like scum of the earth and just all of a sudden be like, I don't want you no more. People will switch up on you. Sometimes you don't even know what you capable of. So like that's what I'm saying. Like people saying, oh, that's one. Like I said, one foot in marriage, one foot out of marriage. No, it's not. No, it is not. You got to be smart. You got to be smart. That don't mean you don't love your spouse. That's like having insurance. The same way you get insurance on your house. The same way you get insurance on your car. Ain't nobody planning to get in no accident. Ain't nobody planning for their house to get, you know what I'm saying, their roof to get caved in by a tree or whatever, natural disaster or whatever. But in the event that it does, you have, you know what I'm saying, those safeguards there, right? And women from multiple generations have come out time and time again and has told us, ladies, you need to have your own just in case. Now to think about men not having like what they say, like friends and family and stuff to kind of like help them cope. That's kind of crazy to me though, because when you think about it, especially if you are like a stay at home mom or whatever, I would think because men are still able to go out there and typically, as the breadwinner, they are still able to go out there and make those friendships, build those bonds, build those work connections, chase their career, right? More freely because they know that, the mom is usually, like I said, in most, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like just in the standard of like what's been set as a standard as the mom being the caretaker and all of that and the husband being the provider. Um, the men are still able to go out there, like I said, and chase their career and build those friendships and stuff like that and keep their friendships all while the mom is like your whole world has become you taking care of the household and the kids. So you kind of, I would think, losing friendships because now, especially if those friends don't have kids, right? Because you will find that pretty much 99% of the things that you do now involve doing things that involve like child activities, if you get what I'm saying. So I mean, but yeah, you could still like make other like um friends that are moms and stuff like that. Now, I am a military spouse, so if y'all know how that go. Like you become cool with somebody and stuff, and then you end up having to move and you gotta start all over again. It's not the same as like you staying in one place, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That one is kind of like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would think that men would really have that support system as well too when it comes to like family and friends and stuff. Because like I said, because they also they able to still go out there and chase their career and make those friendships with their coworkers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much typically a lot of times move more freely than the mom is, who is like tend to be, you know what I'm saying, bound down by the kids. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that one right there is kind of, I'm a little surprised on that one. But as far as but I'm not surprised on it saying that men are more likely to become depressed because, like I say, they tend to typically lean on their spouse for like their emotional support. So, like, literally, the mom, the wife, you are like everything for everybody. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's so easy, and you hear a lot of like current wives or ex-wives talk about like how easy it is just to get lost, like lose yourself. Like you look up and the kids then moved out, or maybe the kids are still there, but you look up, you know what I'm saying, all these years and went by and you like, damn, like what do I even like anymore? Like what do I even like to do anymore? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them. I've realized I am one of those moms. Like I don't try to, but it is so easy for me to neglect myself because I be so wrapped up in like making sure that like my family and my kids, most importantly, are good, right? So like I will shit, I sacrifice some friendships or a career or whatever like to make sure that my kids are good, right? As long as my kids good, I'm good. That's like most moms. That's a lot of moms out there, right? That's normal. So I mean, but so yeah, I mean I'm not normalizing like neglecting yourself. I'm just speaking from my own like personal experience though. Like you have to learn how to like balance that and navigate that too. Um, but yeah, so that one right there, like I said. But as far as again, like I said, the men becoming more depressed, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. They be wanting women to be out here thinking they're like, oh, you gonna be you gonna be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want no ex-wife, or don't nobody want no baby mama. Uh or say if you just not don't got kids, you not in a relationship at all, and you cool with being single. They make it, men be out here trying to scare women into believe like, oh, you gonna die alone or you gonna be lonely. They don't want y'all to know they really the ones that's out here scared to die alone. They really the ones out here that's gonna be lonely. Real talk, y'all. I'm gonna say this, okay, and I'm gonna get off of this. Women, when they say women tend to thrive more when they are single, when it comes to like their career and them taking care of themselves and stuff, they not lying. They not lying. And don't take this the wrong way, like, oh, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I love my family. I do. But the truth is still gonna be the truth. So remember I told y'all a lot of these sayings they be saying are sayings for a reason. They not lying. These things are true. One of those saying, me and my husband was just about this the other day. Y'all ever heard them say, like the older folks say, maybe growing up or whatever, right? You ever heard the older folks in your household say, yeah, you ever want to sit a woman down, get her pregnant, make her have kids? I'm gonna say it again. Y'all ever heard the older generation say, if you want to sit a woman down, get her pregnant, make her have some kids? Y'all know why they saying that? If you this don't apply to every woman though. Some women be out here. I ain't gonna put nobody stuff out there, but I feel like, let's just say a lot of us, if not all of us, know somebody. All moms, just like all dads, ain't built the same. Some moms out here, they don't sit down. They might crank the turn up a notch. They don't give a damn what them kids got going on. Like they don't know if they coming or going. They don't care. Real neglectful, right? We're not talking about them. We talking about, like, if you are a good mom, right? That's what they saying, that because them kids gonna sit you down. That career, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff you had plans to do and all of that, you have just easily, you just prolonged that something that you could have, you know what I'm saying, achieved, let's say maybe within like a year, right? Maybe a year or two, easily. You have okay, you have hell one kid, and then anything after one, that is easily finna be prolonged. Now you can just add on another like 3 years or so, maybe. Like, it depends on what you chasing too, though, like what you trying to accomplish. And then it also depends too if you have a village. This is why they say you need a village. You do. You need a village. It's not, raising kids is not easy. So yeah, that when they say women thrive more when they single and stuff, career wise, health wise, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to taking care of themselves and all of that. Hell yeah, I believe it. I ain't need no statistics to tell me that. As a mother myself, like, yes, I believe it. I believe it because your whole life becomes like I said, taking care of and making sure that these human beings that you have created are good. And it should. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to find a balance, and it's hard though. It is, because it's like, you can't just be taking on any job, or you know what I'm saying, you got to take into account, like, do this schedule work with your kid's schedule? You can't just be flying here or everywhere, maybe for like a business meeting or whatever you trying to do. You got to make sure, okay, who gonna watch the child? And then, do I even trust them to watch the child? Do I even want to be away from my child that long? You know what I'm saying? Like, you always have to account for this other, you know what I'm saying, like, human being and stuff. And then you got to make sure that you still showing up and being present, you know what I'm saying, in your marriage and stuff. You got to make sure you and your spouse not moving like two ships in the night, because he chasing his career and you chasing your career, right? So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's my little tidbit. Like I said, the only thing I was surprised on with that little statistics thing was saying that, like, how men don't have the support or whatever. Because like I said, I would think that they generally are able to continuing on like they regular everyday life, being social, and unless they just were not a very social person in the beginning. But if you a man that's like a social person, I mean, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't have the support, because like I said, typically it's the responsibility of taking care of the kids. A lot of it, if not most of it, really, if we being honest, tends to fall on the mom. As the little traditional roles go, the dad go out, make the money, provide and stuff, and the mom is the one who tends to do most of the caretaking and the child rearing and stuff, being there for the kids, like, you know what I'm saying, emotionally, physically, all of that, right? Shoot, you got some moms out here that is working and they still coming home to have to do pretty much the cooking, the cleaning, helping the kids with the homework and all of that. So yeah, I don't. That's like I said. That's the part that gets me. Where it's like I don't. Then how these men ain't find the time to have no emotional support. Like how y'all not socializing? Like at that point, you just must be a person that just was never really that social in the first place. I don't know. But yeah, that's it, y'all. All in all, it's an unfortunate story. This is our strange story for today, for Thursday. That is crazy. Again, if you don't take anything else from this story, don't put nothing past nobody. People is crazy out here. I'm gonna say this one more time too. I look, you I'm not gonna completely blame the women. Don't say that they wrong. I'm not gonna say they wrong at all. Shoot, like I said, I'm the type of person, I don't put nothing past nobody. When they say that you might wanna if you do decide to leave your significant other or something, like it may seem heartless, but you never know. Hell, you might want to, go on, pack up, get your stuff out of there, have your affairs in order, and go on and bring they cellular. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make it come off like less, not as like harsh, call them instead of texting them. Like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more, because you could be thinking that you could sit down with this person because you've been with them for so many years and just have a calm conversation with them, be like, yeah, I'm just not feeling this no more. It's not working no more. And then next, they didn't just went berserk on you. They didn't went crazy. They didn't went crazy, and these people ain't never see it coming, because they like, not this person. I know this person like the back of my hand. You never know what a person is capable of. I've heard people say too, that have went through, and y'all have too, shoot, whether it was on TV or in person. If you really want to know the type of person that you dealing with, you really see the real them come out, and like how hateful and mean they could be when you going through a divorce. So like I said, you just never know, because again, this dude seemed like he took the divorce well, and he didn't turn around and did some crazy stuff like this. So it is unfortunate, very, very unfortunate for the friends and the family and stuff. That's crazy, man. But that's gonna be it for today. Don't forget, again, y'all, I do post Monday through Friday, and for specific uploads, just check that in the description below. Sometimes I do put it in the comments below, y'all, if I got like a little extra think piece that I hadn't said and rambled on enough about, like on the camera, that I put down in the comments along with the uploading schedule. But if I don't put it in the comments, if I ain't got nothing to say, or maybe I forgot to put a little comment in there or whatever, I started doing something else around the house, it is always in the description below too as well, though. But y'all have a good day. It is technically Friday. It is 12:39. I'm about to hop off here and go get ready for bed. Y'all have a good day. That's it for today, y'all. Bye.